right, welcome back everyone. It's Tradeify Crypto channel where we do duck race for 24 hours. And the winner is not announced yet. We still gonna wait for the one. So stick around and find out. How are you doing, Jonathan?
I'm doing all right. Actually, I was a bit sad earlier today. Obviously, England lost yesterday. If everyone's been following the World Cup, so we went a goal up. I was excited. I thought we were gonna do well, and then classic England, just the nearly men that we are, and just ended up losing. So yeah, I was a bit disappointed. I'm just glad before I actually had a gold long trade before I went out to watch the England game, which did really well. So that kind of like.
So you went long right now?
Say again. I'm not long now. No, I was long just before I went out last night. So I went to. We were talking about it yesterday a little bit about the sort of idea of being gold long, and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna keep an eye on it because we had this really nice sort of accumulation area building up. We then had that PPI news, which drove price higher. And then what I noticed was gold prices were dropping while yields were also dropping at the same time. So I just wanted to kind of look for a bit of a move back up to the upside on gold. And, you know, fortunately, it came back into the sort of point of control on the day. Ended up buying above the 30-minute candle high here with a trailing stop on. Ended up coming out with a nice 2-to-1 target back up into this area of resistance from the previous day's profile. It's a nice little area in here. So I ended up doing pretty well yesterday. Looking for a similar kind of setup today. We have retail sales coming up in a little bit. We've got obviously a lot of geopolitical stuff going ahead again. So, you know, gold could benefit a little bit. I'm just going to keep an eye again. You know, like I said, I'm going to be a bit like a bit of a boring guy talking about these yields all the time, but I'm going to keep an eye on them anyway. We do see a nice little sort of breakout on the retail sales data in a little bit. Then, you know, I think gold longs are looking pretty good. If we don't, we see a beat and yields start rising again, then, you know, gold's going to be more on the short side, I think, for a little bit. So, yeah, but it was a nice trade anyway. I ended up a little bit happier because of that, but you know, England brought my mood down a little bit, and at least I don't have to go out on Sunday night now and stay up till God knows hours to watch the game. So at least that's a positive.
I mean, yesterday long really make sense. You know, I was watching it. I wanted to go long, but before I clicked my button, it was just a lot higher than my entry point. I was like, okay, dang it, leave it. I'm not gonna do anything. Just want to watch it go. And we have another gold trader joining. Hello, Anastasiia.
Hey guys, how are you doing?
Thursday. Absolutely fine. So, do you have something for us? You know, presentation or something like that, or you know, just waiting for some new sauce?
Well, while we are waiting for another crazy updates regarding the market, perhaps we can definitely cover that. But you've been talking about gold, right? Jonathan, are you expecting gold to be bearish in this certain reality before we're gonna dive into other things, obviously?
I'm sitting on the fence again at the moment. Yesterday I took a long into this area of resistance here, but sitting on the fence a little bit. I want to see how this retail sales data comes in. I want a similar trade, to be honest. Like the past few days have been quite nice to trade it because you have like a news release. So this was CPI. Market then kind of gives back all those gains, comes into a strong area of support. So just move my market profile over a little bit. Comes back into a strong area of support, rallies away. So that's a nice, easy sort of trade to look at. Similar thing happened again yesterday. VPI comes back into support, rallies again. So I feel like I might just wait to see if the same thing happens again. You know, do we get negative retail sales news and initial jobless claims? If it does, do we get that spike up, all back into support again and see what happens? So yeah, I'm seeing my hands a little bit. I'm not in any positions anymore. I actually was short dollar yen for a while, but closed that position this morning because I was back at
Short
break even.
dollar yen.
Yeah, I was looking at basically taking the 162 sort of level down just because I was looking at the potential for intervention to come in. So I was short at sort of 162 sort of 50s. And it was just going sideways and the swap charges were just eating into my trade. So I thought once I get back to break even on that, I'll just close out. So fortunately this morning I was back at break even. So that's including the swap charges. So I ended up just closing all the positions out. And I'll wait to see if I get a different position. I think now I'm going to have to wait to see if we get kind of a flush higher before going short. I thought that maybe this kind of really strong sort of resistance level at 162 would hold. It did kind of hold for a little bit, but we've not really seen that dollar pressure coming in just yet. So I have to wait and see on that one as well. But yeah, not looking to trade that one at the minute. I think the yen weakness has surprised me a little bit. I thought we would see a little bit more yen strength coming in, but yeah, obviously the Bank of Japan have just kind of given up hope on intervention right now. So if they're giving up, I'm giving up. So I'll wait to see if we get any kind of reaction again soon. And at the moment, it kind of looks like a very traditional sort of pattern forming here with a really nice sort of triangle accumulation going on. So unless we get sort of like a break lower, then I'll just ignore this chart for a little bit. So yeah, markets are they're so up and down at the moment. I mean, this is a great example of just how sort of range bound we are on most things. I think the only chart that I really liked was cable, pound against the US dollar. Like this was screaming to go long down at the 131.50s. And now we're kind of breaking through these key support points. This is the only chart that I, really, really like, as well as sort of euro pound and stuff. But yeah, I'll have to see. We'll see what the retail sales do today. If they come in a little bit lower than expected and, lower than those sort of deviations that we can see, then, I'd be happily looking for that little bit of a burst higher in gold, wait for it to come back to support and then try and buy it again, I think.
Yeah, the market hasn't been the easiest today after the PPI and the CPI as well. I feel like it's been mostly ranging, so it feels like we're waiting for something. Maybe retail sales are gonna change it, like you said yourself. Let's wait. Let's see.
What are you guys looking at?
I'm looking at the chat now. They still remember from yesterday the 24-hour duck race. Luna is saying, "Hey robot, I remember ye."
Do we actually know who's in the lead or no?
I think Jonathan is running it, no?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on his side. The last time we looked at it, Trump Duck was leading it.
Yeah.
Just about an hour ago, something. So whoever is a Trump Duck, know that you were leading an hour ago. It might have changed up until now, so no promises, but that's a piece of information they've got.
Yeah, and gold is dropping. I don't know why.
Yeah, there's no reason. It's been just ranging the whole day, actually. It's been a disgusting price action today, to be fairly honest, for gold in general.
Right, so I think we are starting the presentation. So guys, make sure to grab your pen and paper.
Yeah, we can. So we're gonna take it a step further today. Just 1 second, actually. I'm gonna just turn this one off so I'm not lost myself through all my tabs. Here we go. My connection seems to be stable. So you guys know that every single Thursday we bring some piece of volume or order flow trading or something. So that is the day again when we do it. And you know that I am all of the strategists have a space to live, obviously, and have a reason to be, but I'm kind of against all the indicators. I think that all the indicators, I'm quite biased on that one. So, I believe that all the indicators are just there aftermath from the chart itself, and we can't really get much information. Like if you're looking at the indicators, might as well just look at the per price action, and it's just going to give it more clear example and more clear information and less delay than all of this delayed data from the indicators that you are getting. But you might have seen a couple of lines on my chart that are outside of normal volume and volume profile that we've already talked about on several previous Thursdays, and that is going to be a VWAP. Now, I am combining VWAP with volumes and all of the trading methods that we already covered previously, and today what I want to show is the reason why I'm actually using VWAP alongside with all the other volume indicators, and why am I not using all the other things like, for example, EMAs, SMAs, and all of this kind of stuff that a lot of people are using, and trust me, I've tried crosses, I've tried crosses in between those lines, I've tried so many different indicators like MACDs, RSIs, and this was the first thing I started. So like everything that I could try, and the opposite also I've did. Now, why am I using the VWAP indicator and why is it on there? Well, it's still something similar. Well, first of all, because unlike EMAs, SMAs, and all of the MACDs, RSIs, and which calculate the average of the price more or less in different kind of formulas, VWAP is actually still volume based. So it still takes the volume and it recalculates it, and it's based on the real interest of the market. Second reason is because it is the reference point to the average price, including the volume. So not just an average price, but including the volume that was high or low in certain periods of time in certain zones in the market. So also shows us the interest of lack of interest, decrease or increase in interest of market participants to the specific zones. Third is because it is in fact used by institutions, and it is used by the automatic trading systems used by institutions. So when we are talking about the high frequency trading and we relate to the institutional trading, well, they kind of rely on the VWAP a lot. And that's why we also take the VWAP, I take a VWAP in the account, because we want to do what the big guys are doing. Right? And fourth is it stands for value weighted average price, which means that we take the value of this specific asset in the account, included the volume and the interest. So this is essentially how VWAP looks without any add-ons, right? We have the deviations from the VWAP that looks like a little cloud. So we can also mistake sometimes it with other indicators, but without all of these deviations and all of this stuff around, this is how VWAP looks. You have one middle line, which essentially is calculated by the formula, which I'm going to share just in a moment. So the whole idea is, the very basic idea is that if the price is above the VWAP and you are buying above the VWAP, you are essentially paying more than the average trader did. So the majority of people, how they use ESMAs, EMAs, and VWAP included, is they actually buy when the price is above VWAP and they sell when the price is below VWAP. So they buy or sell when the price crosses a specific line. This is the same principle that people follow when we talk about exponential moving averages or simple moving averages. We are going to take it from a different perspective. So accordingly, if you are selling below VWAP, what it's telling you, it's saying that you're essentially trying to sell below the average selling price, which might be not the best idea, because you are paying, you are expecting the price to go even lower when it already been falling. And in this case, perhaps longs might be a good idea relatively to the day's average or to the week's average or to the month's average, depending on the period of time that you use for those calculations. Mm-hmm. Okay, so what's the VWAP formula in general? Because I feel like a lot of people don't actually know what VWAP stands for. Well, it stands for the cumulative price including multiplied by volume divided by the cumulative volume for the period of time that you choose. For example, a day, a month, a week, or custom period of time, depending on the platform allowance which you're using. So again, it's a cumulative price multiplied by volume divided by the cumulative volume for this specific period of time. So how VWAP also works, on the other hand, is that oftentimes price gravitates towards VWAP during the periods of consolidations. So when the price is consolidating, a lot of the times you will see it's consolidating around VWAP. And the price is going to go away from VWAP majority of the times when the trend is going to be strong. So that's another thing. You will see it going away from VWAP when the trend is strong. When you see the price is going to be consolidating, it's going to be gravitating somewhere around this VWAP. So that's a basic principle. Now, as we already know, volume profile is another volume indicator which I use daily for my analysis. And we have two different volumes, and this is just a refresher. We have a volume profile, which is the side volume, which is a price-based volume showing you the interest towards a specific price level. So if the histogram is increasing, it means there was more traded volume during this period of time. And on the other hand, we have the normal volume indicator on the bottom of your screen, which shows the interest during the specific periods of time, not towards the price, unlike the volume profile, but towards the specific period of time. So volume indicator is going to show you the increase to decrease period, the volumes and interest towards the specific asset, this based on this time frame that you choose on your chart. So the volume profile is going to be on the side, the volume indicator is going to be on the bottom, VWAP is going to be in the middle. Okay, so we're not going to go through the components because we went through it last time. And before I'm going to show a couple of ways that I'm using VWAP and a couple of ways that the price is responding to it on the chart, I want to compare essentially VWAP versus the volume profile so you have the basic idea and an understanding why am I using both. And why am I still, although I'm relying a lot on the volume profile itself, why am I still bringing VWAP into the mix? Well, because if it comes to VWAP, it is the time-based or the session-based or the daily-based or the weekly-based. Again, you base it on the time, so it calculates the volume based on time. Volume calculates the volume based on the price. VWAP updates in a real time. So VWAP is developing this line is going to be moving together with the price. So the formula is going to be working and it's going to be drawing this line depending on where the price is going and depending on the average of volume. Mm-hmm. Volume profile is usually static. So you choose a period of time and you see how the volume was distributed. Obviously, if you choose the developing day or week or months, it's also going to be dynamic and it's going to be developing during this specific period of time. But mostly it is not you see how the volume was distributed in this specific time period or price period that already passed. So it's static. VWAP is giving you the trend context. So it will give you the information, either the price is in a range, either the price is in a strong trend, either the price is above or below the average price that traders paid for this specific asset. Whether it's volume, it's giving you a different information. It's answering the question, where did the traders trade this asset? So, and how much? So it's giving you a different perspective on the trader's activity. And VWAP consists from line and eventually bands deviations, while volume consists of the horizontal histogram and specific zones. So it's different from the visual perspective as well. VWAP is going to tell you if the market is above or below the fair value of this asset. And it tends to act as a real-time pivot for the price. So it's really great for basically catching and understanding the intraday trend bias. For example, if the market stays above VWAP all the morning, that's bullish, so buyers are in control, and you might only look for longs, for example, on pullbacks to VWAP. But you also know that if the price gravitates too much above the VWAP, you might get a pullback very fast because it's much higher than the average price that was paid for this asset. Now, volume, so you can estimate more or less if the price that you're about to pay, if the price that you're about to get in based in your trade with is a good idea or not a good idea. Volume profile, on the other hand, gives you a specific zone of interest. So it gives you the information about the real support or resistance based on volume clusters. So not imaginary lines that we put on the chart based on support or resistance because the price bounced there before, but because of the real interest of market buyers or sellers. So for instance, for example, yesterday's point of control, high volume node or value area might become a key battleground for today. Or for example, the overnight high volume node could act as a support in the morning session. So you can rely on this depending on when the volume was traded. And so there is a couple of examples of how you can use VWAP. Now, in the example in front of you, you can see the VWAP line, which is black, and you can see two deviations of it. So the upper band. Yeah.
We can't see that example which you're looking at. Yeah.
Was it working before?
No, it was on the first page.
It was all the time on the first page, and you guys didn't tell me.
I thought you were just explaining each point.
I thought that the screen you're sharing, you can see it. That's why I said nothing.
It was great so far. I was very engaged, I must admit. Even without the drawings.
Absolutely, yeah. So let's run through this very quickly again. That's a VWAP indicator and the reasons I'm using it. So because it's still volume, unlike all the other indicators that are basically the aftermath after the price, because it's a reference point to the average price that traders pay for the asset, because it's used by institutions and there are a lot of automatic systems based on institutional activity, and because it stands for the value weighted average price, which still includes the volume and the real market interest. So this is an example that if you're buying above VWAP, you're paying essentially more. And if you're buying a lot above VWAP, you're paying much more than the average trader did when going long. If you are selling below VWAP, you might also expect the reversal for soon because average selling price was also much higher. So you need to be careful with that and perhaps look for longs instead of shorts, not like majority of people do, just buying above VWAP and selling below VWAP because the only thing that they look at is a crossing. That's not actually the case, right? If you look at the VWAP formula, which is this one. So the VWAP formula, which you might want to take a screenshot about because I thought it's been sharing all this time, is the cumulative price multiplied by volume divided by the cumulative volume. So again, it shows you the average, in very simple words, shows you the average of the price. So this is why the price often gravitates towards these areas, because it's average price that traders paid for this specific asset. And as you can see on the screenshot, which you're gonna still have a look at some examples on the chart now, the price is around VWAP when it's consolidating, when it's ranging and there is no strong trend, unlike strong trend periods of time when the price gravitates away from VWAP. And then the strong trend is being created. Okay, so here is essentially the comparison between VWAP and volume profile. I'm happy it was so engaging even without text before that. So VWAP is basically time-based because you choose the period of time for when it's calculated. So the session, the day, the week, the month, whatever. While the volume profile is usually it's price-based, right? We know that it shows the volume towards the interest towards specific price level. And the histogram is going to increase when there is more volume and decrease when there is less volume. The VWAP is updated in real time and it's been developed throughout time when the price is moving. And volume profile is static usually because it's showing you the behavior during this specific period of time when you choose to see how the volume was distributed. The use of VWAP is mostly in a trend. So it gives you the context towards the trend, and it also gives you the information whether you should or you shouldn't be trading now because the price is in the area of consolidation, for example. And volume profile shows you the area of interest where the traders were trading before. Whereas volume profile is also only and mainly used in trending markets, because just like VWAP, the price will be consolidating around the point of control of volume profile, usually during the periods of consolidation. And visually, VWAP is going to be consisted from lines and bands, and volume profile will consist from the horizontal histogram and specific zones of those horizontal histograms. So again, this is one more comparison, which I already read before, so we can run through this again, but you can also just take a screenshot of that, to be fairly honest. So because I think everyone got the point up until now. And this is the main thing where we stopped. So that's one of the examples of combination of volume profile and VWAP. So if we look at this situation here, we see that the price was bouncing back. So what you see here is that you see the VWAP line, which is the middle line, black one, and you see two deviations calculated mathematically, which create like a band that is following the VWAP as well. So people use many different deviations. Usually it's 3 deviations people use. I use only one. I use the closest deviation of VWAP, like deviation number 1, the band number 1, upper and lower one. After the second one is going to be further and the third one is going to be further, it just becomes too massive on the chart and I don't use it myself for trading. What we see here is that the price breaks lower. And looking at the volume profile is telling us that we have 2 big volume accumulation areas. It's this area and it's this area. Those are 2 areas where the volume significantly increased. So when price starts pulling back, it's likely to use this area as a resistance, because since the price fell below this zone sharply, it's usually because sellers were stopping in, and because price was trying to recover above but couldn't, so buyers are trying to push the price higher but failed to hold the price above. It's usually because we had a lot of sell limit orders standing in this area, which the following assumption is that if the price comes back to the same zone, we are going to see those sellers being active again and once again pushing the price further down. So what we see here is a confluence from the high volume node of the volume profile, and at the same time the price pulls back to the middle line of the VWAP, to the VWAP itself basically, and it's testing it as a resistance. So the price was standing there for quite a while before the fall. Here obviously we had a gap, but as you can see, it's actually a very good example. The reason I took it is because even in the periods of gaps, when you trade volume, this gives you an advantage, because a lot of the times when other traders only trading on price action or whatever they are trading, ICT, CMC, SMC, indicators and so on, they're going to get stopped out usually. Volumes is usually going to just act as zones in which news or unexpected events are going to accelerate the price towards your zones. So you basically have an advantage even in the very volatile markets, because it's just going to be an acceleration of the price towards the area of that you are expecting the price to be. So we see the multiple response actually from the same zone. On the other hand, we see that the price goes further up. It respects another high volume node and it comes back to the VWAP from another side. So now it's testing it as a support, and it's testing the same high volume node from the other side after the break and retest. And when the price tests this area, you see the rejection. You also might consider taking longs. And that was basically the long setup. I would exit on the point of control of this volume profile. So this is one of the examples of combining VWAP and volume profile, because if, for example, we would be far away from VWAP or somewhere in the middle, the chances would be that the price would continue to gravitate towards the VWAP line. But since we were testing VWAP at the same time we were testing the high volume node, there is a high chance of rejection in this area. So hopefully that makes sense. And there is another, let's have a look at the other example. So here, there is another example in a trend. So we have a downward trading market and the price is not only below the VWAP, which is the case here as well, the VWAP and the high volume node, but we are also below the lower band of the VWAP. So if you would have a second deviation would be acting as a support, which I don't usually take those trades. The point being, and that's something that Jonathan was explaining yesterday, actually the way that you trade, waiting for the pullback and waiting for the break of the structure on the high timeframes and then confluencing it with the lower timeframes and so on, is exactly the way I was trading before COVID NASDAQ on the daily basis. This was basically the whole trading system. It's performing so good. It was such a good market. Amazing. So now I do the same thing with Elliott waves and the price action and so on, but also including volumes. So we see that the price did break the level. It acted as a support, which was the point of control of this volume. We renewed the low. We are coming back. We are testing the point of control. We are testing the lower deviation of VWAP. We are testing the high volume node, obviously, because the point of control is here. So this is your also confluence for another short until the next either big volume node or the lower VWAP deviation bound if you would like to use it. I prefer to take those trades from the VWAP towards the lower deviation or towards the next high volume node. Mm-hmm. So the point with the VWAP is that it's showing you whether the price that you are paying makes sense in the market. It gives you one more key level for the rejection. And it's basically aligning with the reasoning, because the way I'm not adding any more indicators than this is because the reasoning behind doesn't make any sense if you combine many things together. Whether it's this one, it's making sense because it's based on volume. It's showing you the average price that was paid for the asset, essentially, and it's going to be relatable towards using the volume profile and volume indicator as well. So this is one of the things, and let me just share the screen.
So how would you take a trade on that? And is that a specific candlestick pattern, or are you using order flow at that point to take a trade?
I use many different things. It's just one of the things that I'm actually using, to be fairly honest. Like I'll use really a lot of different things, and I break them down on every time, every week. But as a confluence, I use volume profile. I use volume profile. I use VWAP. I use order flow. I use basically
CVD.
every. Sorry.
You use CVD as well.
CVD. So basically, yeah, everything around the order flow, showing me where the limit orders can be and how the actively market orders are behaving. So that's the whole basically. So if it comes to the 30-minute time frame and 15-minute time frame, I'm using the weekly VWAP. So it's always set on the weekly for me. So it looks like a dark shade on the chart, which I usually hide until I have the confluence. So it's the last step of my analysis, the 30-minute time frame, not the main one, but the last step, for example. And there is one of the examples that I would also use VWAP for is we had the consolidation, right? And we had a huge drop, and we had quite a V-shaped recovery, which is usually difficult to decide if you want to take the trade or not, especially concerning that the price didn't really reach the previous monthly point of control. So normally I would wait until this point of control is reached. And I place the volume profile over this whole area, if it will work, to find out the value area of this range. And the value area of this range would be my point of reference when taking a short after the pullback. So then I can take different routes. I can use the VWAP, for example, to confirm how far is the price from the average paid price for the short before the price started dropping. And I can use the order flow then on the smaller time frames to confirm that the sellers have been active when the price returns to this area. So using volume profile from the range, I'm getting the zone of my interest in which I want to trade smaller. So it's thinning basically the area that I'm going to be considering for the trade. Instead of the whole spot and instead of placing my stop loss, for example, above the high, when I take a short, I'm going to only take it within this area here. And besides this, I am also going to place my stop loss only above the value area high. So I don't need to place my stop loss above the highs and extend my risk at my risk reward, because I'm expecting the value area to protect my price from reversal, my trade. And then if you take a look at the VWAP, we will see that the moment the price fell, the average price that was paid for the asset, for gold, as like gold at that point before the drop, was approximately 43.50 and then 43.40 area. So this is exactly where the price returns. And when you see that the price is respecting VWAP and is holding it, so more sellers are entering shorts at this area, this is the moment that I know I don't need to wait for the point of control of the trade to be reached. And I can take a short instead of missing out on the opportunity, because without VWAP, my entry would be higher. I would probably miss my trade because my entry would be something like this. And I would miss out on the trade completely. Right? Take profit doesn't matter because obviously take profit is a different story, but stop loss will go above the value area high and above this cluster volume, and I would miss out on this trade because the price would never actually reach this area. Using VWAP, it's showing me the average price was actually not here. It was during accumulation, the main interest of market participants, but the average price that was paid before the drop and it's holding now was approximately 43.41, which is the zone that I'm going to be looking to enter. So I'm thinning like my zone of interest even more right now, and I'm not going to enter too soon. I'm not going to enter too late. So it gives me the more precise information. Then on top of it, of course, if I want, I can go and use their order flow. If I use their 5-minute chart, which is a little messy if you look at it like this, so let me just make it a little bit less messy because you guys are not going to understand how all is going on here. I use the VWAP on the day. So if it comes to the 5-minute time frame and range XP charts, the VWAP will be on the daily time frame, while on 30 minutes it's going to be on the weekly time frame. Mm-hmm. So the principle is exactly the same. If there is a high volume node that the price is respecting, I am also going to be looking for the confluence is a VWAP to enter the trade. So the price again is going to be naturally gravitating towards the VWAP line. And then eventually it's going to be, as we can see, even on the spikes, the price eventually comes back to the VWAP if it's much higher than VWAP itself. Just like if you look, take a look at, for example, a second.
So did you use this to take that euro trade yesterday?
So I always use it basically, just for this moment. So kinda yes and no, because here the reason for the short was, and the next short was the volume, basically because we were testing the volume. But I can, what I was looking for and the reason I was exiting is basically based on the VWAP, because we gravitated towards the VWAP line despite how far the price spiked. So now, for example, if it comes to 60 as well, and euro and pound too, we are so far from the VWAP that despite the volume, it didn't really make sense to continue buying it. So I'm expecting the pullback towards the VWAP line and towards the previous volume before I'm going to buy it again. So now, if you look at EURA, starting from a very basic technical analysis, like for example, the channel that we are currently in, right? So very basic price action things towards placing the volume profile over this whole range and finding out that we have several key levels of the volume. So one is here, one is here. Now here we are above the upper deviation, which can be a trade compared to the upper deviation test and then high volume node. So this is the risky trade. And then the trade that I'm waiting for is from approximately 14,690 on the futures quote for Europe, because we had a lot of volume here. We have a high volume node, and I'm expecting when the price is going to be dropping, the VWAP is going to be also slowly increasing if the price is going to be making like a, obviously the wavy movement. So I'm expecting this trade here, if the VWAP is at the same time approximately at 14,700, that's going to be my entry point for a continuation of longs, because it's probably not going to just drop sharply, but somewhere here, which would be aligning with everything as well.
So if that's a riskier trade from the standard deviation, do you just ignore that then, or would you like?
Yeah, I'm ignoring this. I'm not gonna.
Yeah, I didn't know whether you'd add like a small position. Do you know what I mean? Just to see if it does like find some support from there.
No, you know why? Because the reason also is because the movement is so choppy that I don't usually trade this kind of moves. It's also, if I take the volume in the account, then this is range. Yeah. So let's say I take the trade. My target is on logical, my system, not the hope that we're going to go and test the upper boundary of this channel again, would be here, which is going to give me a very bad risk to reward after all.
Fair.
Yeah. So that's the reason I also will not be really entering any trades here. If it would be that we have a space above, then I would probably take a trade again. Mm-hmm. But since we don't really have a space until the target that I should place, I'm not going to be taking that either. So it's a very similar thing with pound. We are now on the upper deviation. We've had a huge increase. We are having like a volume coming in, but we also have volume on top of it, which is why I use many different things. So this is a cluster volume here, which we see the price was trying to increase again, and then it started dropping. We have a lot of volume in this week. We have another week from another side, the weekly level of the volume here. We have an upper deviation. So we're kind of stuck in between the volumes. Again, if the price would go back to test the VWAP and to test some of the volume from this upwards move at the same time, that would be great. So we can align at some point of control, probably because the volume profile was quite balanced. So if we can align this with a VWAP line, I'll probably look for some buys as well.
Mm-hmm. So those red, I'm just curious because I've never seen those dots before on the chart. Is that just high volume, or is that high sell side volume, or is that like high buy side volume?
This is a total volume. You can set it as a definition, like the difference between the asks and bids, for example. You can set it on delta, you can set it on ask or bids. I have it as a total volume. Because I don't really, if I need to, I'm going to the footprint and I see if it's an ask or bid, this. So for every asset, there is a different filter that I have. So this is 5-minute time frame on gold. This is 50 contracts, which means in every single dot, which is every single red cluster that you see, is at least 50 contracts inside.
Got you. So you measure into those like high volume points.
Yeah. So the high volume for this specific asset based on my filter. Of course, it can be more or less, right? If it comes to, for example, 6B on the 30-minute time frame, I have at least 500 contracts in a cluster.
Yeah.
So that's different. For ES, it's 4,000 or 5,000, 3,000 right now in the current liquidity, and this is 30-minute time frame. So every single dot is at least 3,000 contracts.
Okay, makes sense. So do you ever use the anchored VWAP?
No, not really. No, just a normal one.
I'm using the anchored one for daily.
Right.
No.
And where are you anchoring that to? Is it just to a high, low, or is it like?
It's just the daily open.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and the today's short on the gold was actually from the VWAP and the aggressive buy absorption area, which I would explain. But guys, gold is just dying.
Yeah, gold is just dropping like crazy, no?
Ethereum, yeah, the cleanest. And again, rejection was from VWAP. I like it. Below 200
Sorry?
EMA VWAP. So on my screen, if you can switch over to it, yeah. So it's 200 EMA and the VWAP price went lower. This HVN and aggressively going towards this fair value, I guess. I'm not really sure that price will take this low, but we are actually at the mean point of this range. So I feel this could have been a really good long trade. And yeah, I was talking about this short I took on gold. For that, I think I have to move on TradingView to actually show you guys the trade. So this was it. Anastasiia and Jonathan, you can see that at this price level, they were very aggressive buying, but no follow through. And that's what gave me a confidence that these buyers are going to get absorbed and the price is going towards point of control, as Anastasiia said that she uses the VWAP as supply demand and the target always the point of control. That was the same idea I was using in the London session, and this is a trade. And the point of control was near 4034, but as you guys know that I always like to secure my profits before it hits the area, but it eventually went towards the range lower. It would have been 1:4 risk to reward if I could have held it. But anyway, that's what I always take. So that this was a trade on its VWAP absorption and the driver towards point of control. But the current sell is something which is, I think, could have been a really good trade. And I don't think so it is random that something happened in the market. I got some notification on Financial Juice. Not sure what actually is going on in the market, because this volume is not just trades. Some economical event took place. That's why we see this volume, or there is nothing. I just want to confirm with you guys. You guys got any?
We have a retail sales 18 minutes ago.
Oh, okay. I can hear my voice back.
Wait, I'm gonna make it lower volume, probably on my side. But it's we have retail sales that came out.
Yeah, we've had a couple of geopolitical things as well.
So let's see what we have in the chat. I can still hear myself.
Wait.
My head is hurting from so much information dropped here. So what you can do, Jesu, is come back when the stream is end, put it in slow speed and watch it whenever you want. The recording will be available, so your head will not hurt. We'll make sure that. So much selling at the lows on Bitcoin. Oh, it's liquidation. Oh, so we have to take a look at Bitcoin then. Bitcoin is falling so it's just, yeah. The one more thing about Bitcoin is, Jonathan, we were talking about this area. If price again, closes lower, then we are back in the sell trend, I guess. If we can easily see that if we sell from here, maybe wait for some break and retest kind of setup at this resistance level, which is a support level, which is resistance now, and we can go back towards this support area again, and then the target is this low. And for Ethereum, we have two ranges already created, which is going to act as a magnet, I feel. So for Ethereum, it's much more clear. Like accumulation, manipulation, and distribution. And I don't see any reason for Ethereum to go much higher from this area. What do you guys think?
No, agreed. I'm just looking at Bitcoin now just to see if there's any opportunities. But yeah, no, I like the idea of just waiting for a bit of a pullback. Look for a short idea here. Obviously, yesterday we spoke a little bit about the sort of geopolitical tension and the impacts that has had on Bitcoin recently. It looks like it's having a similar effect at the moment. So yeah, expecting a little bit more downside here. I was just looking at the news to see what's going on, and there's some geopolitical tension going on. We even had reports that Iran tells the Houthis to close the Red Sea gate. So we've seen a lot of upside in oil. So again, that's having a little bit of pressure on the US dollar as well, putting a bit of bullishness there, a dollar being a safe haven currency. So it's probably why we're seeing that gold move. We did get retail sales out as well, which wasn't actually too bad. What we did see was the initial jobless claims. So that came in at 208, which was way better than what the forecast was suggesting. So that's a pretty decent positive bit of news. In terms of retail sales, didn't actually see much in the way of change. Kind of came in around forecast. So nothing really against the deviations there. Did come in a little bit lower, but nothing aggressive. I was just keeping an eye on the yields again, seeing where they were going. They've started to push higher again, so that's negative gold as well, and that's reflected in this little bit of a move that we're seeing to the downside here. I think if those yields stay within that channel, break of $4,000 for gold looks a little bit more likely, especially if it can kind of take out this kind of 3,900 area, which if it does is a pretty significant level, considering if we look at the weekly chart, could go a long way if we do see a bit of a break lower. I'm not really expecting that, I must admit. I do think that there's a good chance that we do see a bit of an upside in gold, but again, I've got to wait for those kind of signals to occur before we even consider doing it. It's about having a little bit of patience here. I think, like I said, if we stay in this sort of channel, then I'm going to be sort of short in gold as yields rise, buying gold as yields fall. So I want to see what happens. I want to see a good breakout. If we break out of here, break below the 50 moving average, I'd be happy looking for those gold long ideas. So that's why it's sometimes better just to sit on your hands a little bit and wait for sort of the decent signals to come through. We are kind of testing that $4,000 level at the moment. This was an area of accumulation in the past, which is being tested, as you've both pointed out anyway. So, a couple of trade ideas I think from this is, if those yields keep rising and we see gold rise, we could look for a short in and around this area here. If, however, we start seeing those, yields fall, break below that 4.1%, I'll be looking for almost like a trade within value and a move to the other side. So a couple of ideas there on gold. I think I like the idea of Bitcoin short from this. It's just, again, from a reward to risk point of view.
Sorry to interrupt you, Jonathan.
Yep.
When you said yields will rise and the gold what? Because I want to know the correlation, how you use it for gold in order for trend and stuff.
Yeah, so really simple thing we can do is we can just be using the reason.
Can you start with the intraday? Let's say I'm a baby trader and I want an intraday. So how would I use this tool for identification of trend direction if I have some higher time frame supply demand zone in order to use, like we use the EU and DXY?
Yeah, so EU and DXY are highly correlated because the dollar index is just a basket of currencies against the dollar, and euro is the most weighted. So if you really want to look at a proxy for dollar, then the dollar index, you might as well just look at euro dollar. There's probably no real need to look at the dollar index too much. But yields and gold, so gold is a non-yielding asset. So what that means is if you buy gold, the it's still the same. Let's say in a year passes by and price doesn't change, it's still the same value. You get no interest back from that. Obviously, you want speculatively for the price of gold to gain value, whereas yields offer you interest. So when yields rise, people will take capital away from non-yielding assets like gold and buy yields or buy US dollar debt, which they do with US dollars. So that's why when yields rise, dollar rise. When yields fall, dollar falls. Mm-hmm. So the correlation between yields and gold is negative. You can see that from this chart here. As yields are rising, gold is falling, right? And this is how I used the trade yesterday, because from an intraday perspective, yields were falling. And this is a 4-hour chart. You could look at it from an hourly chart as well. But yields were falling yesterday, but gold was, bearish as well, which is pretty unusual. So that's why I looked, it was in and around this area here on gold. That's why I looked at the opportunity to buy gold, because those yields were falling. And now we're obviously seeing those yields rise. So if you were like, let's say you wanted to take a trade on gold, on an intraday, and you wanted to, you sort of, like you were talking about earlier, I like the idea of buying gold. Yeah, that's great. But without the sort of yields are kind of showing you the macro backdrop to it. So, let's say, for instance, your trading strategy was to, just bring up gold here. That, like, if it gets to a strong level of support and bounces, you look for a long idea. So let's say you have this point of control, this untested kind of point of control from the 14th of July. Comes into that level and you just think, well, this is a strong level. My strategy says I'm going to buy from the point of control. Well, you would have got absolutely burnt, because if you looked at yields were rising. So the likelihood of that actually finding support is less likely than if yields were falling and breaking lower. So that's why I was very confident in taking that trade here yesterday, because at that moment in time, US yields were also falling. Yeah, we had CPI obviously coming in, which was lower, which was positive gold. So again, yields fell off the back of that, which is why we saw that spike up. So that's why, sometimes you want to look at things that, correlate with price, just to give you a little bit more information. I think the more informed you are, the better decisions that you can make. So like, a lot of traders would probably be looking at this $4,000 level and thinking, oh, it's got a rebound from there. It doesn't have to do anything. It can continue to move as far as it likes. So I like to look for at least some kind of correlation between the yields, especially when I'm trading something like gold, because I know it has like a negative correlation. So we can see that that's rising. There's no point in going long gold just yet. If I do see this turn and we start seeing aggressive downside pressure like we did for PPI and CPI, then great, I'll start looking for that gold buy. But yeah, at the moment, I don't think there's a reason to do that. Sometimes they can go in correlation, and when that happens, I think sometimes there's a good trade idea from that. But you can pretty much see, if I just let me take off the EMAs so that you don't.
So it's like more of like testing on lower time frame that it is performing well according to the confluence I use as an intraday trader.
Yeah, so you just want to. It doesn't. I don't really like to necessarily put it into sort of intraday, daily swing categories or whatever. I like to just have a little look at it, see what it's doing. It just gives me a lot of confidence, and I am predominantly a swing trader, so I will look at it from a higher time frame.
Every Jonathan is a swing trader.
Yeah, get us all. But there can be moments when they move together, and that's usually when there's a good opportunity to trade as well. But yeah, you can see here. Look at the price action of gold when yields fall. Big move to the upside. So, and it's all to do with just inflation expectations, and central bank policy. What are the central banks doing? Are they hiking? Are they on hold? Are they neutral? Or are they cutting rates? What are the likelihoods of that? and the US 2-year yield is such a good kind of tracker of how participants are expecting those yields to those interest rates to go. So I like to keep a track on it, like to keep an eye on it. I think, especially if you're trading like commodities and FX, well, even stock markets, even if you trade in the stock markets, if you see the US 2-year yield rise, then the likelihood is you're going to see a bearish day on the stock market. Obviously, the stock market's a little bit more, rebound sort of price action. You can have a bit of a bad start to the day, but seem to end up pretty well. But usually, if you see yields rise quite aggressively, you'll see downside in the stock market as well. Again, I don't know, I'll talk about this, but 2022 was a perfect example of that. US 10-year yields were rising. We saw inflation rising. We saw rate hikes. Actually, when the Fed started to hike interest rates, was actually the low in the market, ironically, because markets are forward-looking. They're not, they don't react to. By the time the Fed has already hiked or cut interest rates, the market has already priced it in. So that was when we actually started to see rate hikes from the Federal Reserve, and that actually led to some big upside.
Mm-hmm. Amazing. So it's the best Thursday for everyone here. Anastasia explained about the volume profile and the VWAP, and now we have a correlation for gold. What else do you guys want? Like just wait for another. We are gonna save a lot of content for more, Thursdays and the days where we present things. If we give everything today, I think, like JSOP said, hit the head with the egg. So just gonna save it for another session, So I by looking at Anastasia, I feel she is just waiting for some, just short on gold because it's time.
No, I'm skipping gold. Come on, it's literally. If you look at gold, I can explain why I'll skip it. I'm in a short on euro now, so that's what I was doing. I was listening and I liked the explanation. Actually, very interesting, and I really love how you explain yields because you put it in a very simple way, and it's quite a complicated topic for those who never heard it before. So I'm in short for euro on the closure of the candle on the retest of the previous volume. So it was quite a good entry. We'll see if it's going to continue, but we did break the weekly point of control. And the reason I'm short also is because we did break below the, back inside the VWAP, basically below the upper deviation of VWAP. We also had a lot of volume here coming through based while the price was breaking, which is a very good thing because it's usually a confirmation for me of the continuation of the downwards movement, of downwards momentum. So that's the reason that I'm not currently short. Now, if it's going to continue, my target, as I was explaining before, will be approximately somewhere here. So it's rather a scalp. So there was a small volume accumulation and also a volume right here on the volume profile itself, whereas the current monthly and last month's point of control also in the same area. And this area is going to be really good for longs afterwards. So I'm planning to take this and I'm planning to take this and I'm planning to use it as a reversal zone to buy from here, approximately from this area, if we do get the retest. So that's a plan. And the reason I'm skipping gold is because, now I might look for shorts. Actually, my target was somewhere here for gold because we were in between the value area here. And also we were in between there. 1 second, guys. I am gonna just go for that. Yeah, like this. So the reason is because there was a value area low here, and because the price tried to pull back from the value area low and then before from the point of control of this range. So there's so many reasons why the price could pull back that I decided to not risk it actually. So I did not enter gold earlier because, again, there was too many reasons that the price could still pull back. So euro in this case is a little bit safer for me, safest scenario.
All right.
Yeah. You?
I'm actually watching it die without me. It was a good analysis. I was expecting a good sell-off, but not because of some news or stuff. Anyway, it was a good push lower, and it's not stopping. Let's see what we have on the hype. What's hype doing is hype is actually hyping because it's got really good rejection, from this area. I know this data is just tick based, but I'm using it just for the sake of volume profile, because without it I feel so lonely on chart. So this rejection from this edge of the HVN was really good, and I'm assuming that price might just take a good pullback from this area and then reject from this HVN again and then continue lower on the high, because I'm not really bullish. What do you guys think? Are you guys trading high or analyzing it because it's the best volatile crypto pair you can trade with Tradeify crypto? So Glenn
I
is saying,
still don't know. I'm still not convinced.
Depends if I can trade Altcoin or not. Can I do that?
Yeah, you can.
I can. Oh my god, get me on.
There's another coin which Romans like, which is Clash. I think it's delisted on the trading view. So Roman is also trading hype these days. Are you Roman? Yeah. In my dreams, yeah.
You need to tell me a crypto that. Okay, what's your favorite crypto that you've ever traded?
It's Doge.
Doge.
Yeah.
Why Doge?
Because I don't really have to use my brain when I trade it.
And why is that?
It's like it follows a really simple price action and the correlation of Ethereum and Bitcoin, which sounds really stupid, but I combine the strength and weakness of these two pair, and the outcome of Doge is 50 to 60% timed right with supply and demand. I might explain you something. I might show you something right now by looking at Bitcoin and Ethereum. So like you can see that Bitcoin, pretty much we know that we are coming back lower in the range, but kind of bearish movement is getting started. And on Ethereum, same price action, and we're about to tap the support zone. But yesterday, if you look at the Doge, we were kind of already in the resistance zone, and the Bitcoin was already falling. So when you have this pair, wait, instead of doing that, let me go to the Doge, and on the left side, I can open Bitcoin and share the magic or maybe thing I use. So yeah, on Bitcoin, you can see that this price level, the price got rejection, even though there is nothing on Bitcoin personally for me. But here you can see that Doge was in the resistance area. So that tells me that chances are really high that I might get selling opportunity. And over here, I use just wicks. I don't use volume profile. I don't use absorption. I don't see how many players are in this candle and bid and ask. I just look at it's a very sweet, the wick of the 4-hour and the market out, and just wait for rejection, and then go on lower time frame and target another value area. Like just, you can see this range. This area is acting as magnet, So not even volume profile, it's just supply demand and a range and a sweet correlation of Ethereum and Bitcoin, and that pays me enough, So Doge is the best coin, even though if it's gonna, I think Elon Musk should tweet something related to Doge, because I've seen no talks about this best coin. So yeah, that's why I love it.
That's a good question, actually. So Elon Musk, obviously, did he invent Dogecoin?
I'm not sure, but he is someone who really was talking about that
because
coin.
Was there a point that Dogecoin, you could use Dogecoin to buy a Tesla?
Yeah, it was after already. He did not invent it. It was already alive for like many years, but at some point, I don't remember how it started actually. But they made it possible to accept payments for Tesla in Dogecoin as well. This is when it like skyrocketed too.
Is it still the same? People are using Doge for payments for Tesla?
I need to know how it was created.
Oh, so the creation, maybe I can tell you the meme.
It was the
The
meme. I
dog.
remember the dog meme.
Yeah, I think the Shiba dog. He actually died, but he was really famous with the.
Wait, the actual dog that created the meme died.
Yeah.
So they created a coin because of that.
Yeah, because of that. Yeah. He was pretty much famous by using, some humorous joke on something like that. On WhatsApp, I have a lot of stickers of Doge. I'll send it to you, and we talk about something. So, why you guys are silent here?
I'm sorry, I was just reading about Dogecoin. I used to trade Ripple quite a bit, and then obviously they went through like some, internal investigations by the SEC at some point, and I think that was actually here, wasn't it? I've got a funny feeling that this is where they blew up because I'm pretty sure they beat the allegations or something, and we saw this huge pump in Ripple prices.
Robot is saying it was the people's coin, one of the first meme coins. Are you sure it was the first meme coin created?
Yeah, I feel like it might have been, I feel like that's correct, because I think that's when it was the real kind of like big hype around cryptocurrency, was when we saw these like meme coins coming about.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it says it's created in 2013, so that market has been going for what, 13 years, which is wild. Is it still one of like the top cryptos as well in terms of coin market cap?
Yeah, it was one of the biggest performers of altcoin market.
Yeah, it's in the top 10 still.
Yeah, we forgot about the light target.
We still owe them a second giveaway. You know this from yesterday?
Yeah. 24.
Yeah, we kind of owe them the giveaway from yesterday, which is not the 24, but the other one. Jonathan said we're gonna do 2, and while that one is running, we're gonna do another one.
So for that, don't we need some like targets? Oh, Anastasiia said something, and we have 3 viewers. And one more. Can you say something more about giveaways? More viewers.
About what? Sorry.
Giveaway. A lot of people are joining. When you're explaining the giveaway.
I'm saying that we owe them a giveaway from yesterday. Still, not the 24 hours one, but another one.
No. Okay. So for that, don't we need some likes?
I don't know. Do we? It was from yesterday. At least the Jonathan was saying that.
Yeah. People are saying there's some echo. Yeah, I know it's Anastasiia.
I'll try to rejoin because I put the microphone already super low and it's still echo. Let me try to rejoin. Maybe it's gonna fix the problem.
Yeah. Earlier with Jonathan and now with Ayush. Oh no, Yumi, it's not always me. Come on.
What's going on?
No, so I have some issues. I always am the guy with a lot of glitches and the problems.
Okay. Oh, was somebody saying that I had some glitches earlier? I don't remember me having any glitches.
Not yet.
Oh, the other one. Oh, okay.
Not yet. Because someone suggested a silly 24 Yeah, someone did. You guys were pissed off when we did the 30-minute and you was like, oh shit, it's so long. Jonathan did 24. We might do 1 week giveaway. But I don't think so. We don't have that long time around the race. So Jonathan, or do you trade any altcoin beside Bitcoin and Ethereum?
I traded Ripple a bit, and but other than that, I've not dabbled too much. I used to be in the crypto space quite a bit, but it's only when it kind of like first started. I think back in 2015 was where I really was looking at the crypto market. I've been to a few sort of crypto events. So in the UK, there used to be some like crypto events that used to happen back in the day as well, which were quite big. And I've done a few sort of like presentations and stuff at those, but it was all kind of based around Bitcoin and, you know, trying to trade the value of that versus the altcoins. Obviously, when altcoins started to come about and we had a lot of the sort of pump and dumping that was going on, I felt like it lost a bit of its reputation. That makes sense. You know, when we started to see people taking Bitcoin seriously, started to see sort of like BlackRock invest into it and all this kind of stuff, and everyone was getting really happy that institutions were now getting involved. Kind of lost a bit of its shine for me when it started to be like the pump and dump era. You know, and then you were seeing like memes across the market of like, I don't know, have you seen that meme of that kid where he was like, he looked about 12 years old and he created a coin and he was alive, and then he like pumped it and then he got rid of it and then he just stuck 2 middle fingers up.
yeah, I remember. He still flexes the Rolex and cars on the X, and people
Does he actually?
Like, yeah, he is. He don't give.
So he's still got the money.
I guess so. I'm not sure. I mean, the things he's buying, I'm sure he is soon gonna be broke if he's not investing somewhere. But yeah, he did dirty.
Yeah. So yeah, it lost a little bit of its shine for me. So I just kind of stick to the major players of Bitcoin and Ethereum and whatnot. But I don't really dabble too far away from those. You know, Ripple I was interested in because of the SEC stuff that was going on. But yeah, that was way back. I swear that was back in sort of November 2024 when that was all going on. I'm pretty sure. When was that? I feel like SEC case. I want to know when it was. Maybe I've got to ask some AI bot when that was.
Jack, you saw that? It was my mistake. I didn't wrote it intentionally. I wrote in memdex and I wrote something else. Sorry, I deleted it. So, Glenn, are you actually in a trade? I missed your message. Are you actually trading anything on the hype? Let's see what the Zcash is doing. Oh shit, it's bullish. It is back again with the volume up. All right, it's looking good.
Is it better now? Is
daily time frame?
Is it better now? Is audio?
We had a really good day on the Tuesday.
I think so.
Yeah. Well, the problem, Ayush cannot hear me.
So I have to rejoin.
Yeah, exactly. We need to do some magic between me rejoining and then Ayush rejoining, so both of us can actually be on the live.
I can't believe I'm the only one that's not having any problems. This is unusual for me. I am usually the guy that does have problems, so I hope this look continues.
Yeah, no, you see, you're doing very well. You're very good. So, I was looking at some metals, but silver is just above the volume and gold is still below the volume, and both of them are still bearish for me on the high time frames. If you look at silver on the 4 hours, we broke all major volume zones to the downside. So we are below all of these volume zones. We are below all of this volume. We are below the last time's volume when the price was here. So this was a key level where the price was rejecting. The next one, in a matter of fact, is only here. So this small consolidation 4 hours, and then this major area. So until that, I can long-term technically be bearish for silver, actually. So like really sell it. At the same time with gold, and we look at the gold, for example, we are at the bottom of the range, so it's not yet so shorting and so bearish as silver is. So it's like, and the cumulative delta is also showing the recovery, which on the gold still, so it's not yet 100% what I'd like to see to actually take some kind of trades on down, but I really wish I would. So for silver, however, what we see is that the cumulative delta is approximately responding to the price. We are slightly lowering, not much, but slightly lowering. And there's zero recovery on this one compared to gold. So I feel like silver can be really, really, really bearish, to be fairly honest. The only reason I would potentially, that something that still can hold silver is right here is a value area low, which is trying to pull back from. So we make this global on the silver. This is exactly where the volume came in. And that was, if I'm not mistaken, even the bearish volume. No, that was a massive bullish volume. So 200 contracts on silver. Not good enough, though, to push the price a lot higher. I'd say probably some kind of pullback might be in place, but for the rest, I think might look for some shorts for silver as well when the price pulls back towards the previous zones of volume, which is going to be here. So this is the next closest big volume zone on top. This can be deleted. This thing can be deleted. These things can be cleaned.
So planning for longs?
I'm planning for shorts on silver. So it's there is a closest volume. And if we look again at VWAP up, it's going to be the lower deviation here as well. We did have some of the volume prior to that too. And if we look at their previous market structure, we'll see that we had a volume here as well. So volume accumulation, then more volume, and then the lows. The reason I'm looking for short on silver and not longs is because if we look at their high time frame for silver, there is actually zero reason why the price would pull back. So it seems like we were trying to recover, and then since the moment we entered back into bearish market structure, we keep it going. It's trying to break the last boundary, so like a lower value area low of this whole month here, which is basically the month of May. So May value area low is still here to potentially hold the price, but for the rest, zero reason why the price would go up, because all the volumes that we had from both upper and downward movement are quite broken. The next area that might stop silver, and this is the area that is like it's already broken before. So if you look at this, it's here that we are quite past this zone. So the next one is only 54 to 53.5, and then even 51. So I'm quite bearish on silver midterm, to be fairly honest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't like it at the moment for the short, because we just had 200 contracts coming in here for buy. Technically, I could go like long on this, but the problem is I don't have enough confluence for shorts, for longs, so it would be only the smaller time frame without the high time frame confluence, which I don't really like.
So you're looking for continuation from the HVN or maybe the range you marked.
So somewhere from here, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So for you, so there is some rule that you should always go or tap the point of control and then fall, or do you take some trades before, let's say price goes up and never touch the point of control and starts reversing? Would you take that trade?
Yeah, because the point of control is at the bottom now.
Oh shit! Yeah, so sorry.
No, that's an answer.
It's because he's got his shades on.
How
do you see the screen?
Well, with the current market, maybe not a bad idea to not see this.
That's fair.
This stuff. I also might want to unsee this too very soon, to be fairly honest.
Oh, Jason is saying Ayush looks now like a call center operator. I will redeem your card. And he's saying, Anastasiia, what is your hand tattoo saying? Damn, you guy. We are explaining a lot of stuff, and you are asking about the tattoo.
Actually, this is I have several tattoos, and it's actually my favorite. And because it was last year was the second hardest year of my life, and this was the first. Basically, it was 10 years ago when I was starting trading. So I started trading with this tattoo. The moment I started trading, the same month I did it, it says, "Pain is temporary, but giving up is forever."
Oh, yeah.
That's cold.
Yeah.
I like that.
So essentially my mantra that kept me going through all the years, and it always does. Because if you give up, that's forever. If you keep going, eventually it's gonna end sooner or later.
Yeah.
It's like if you keep going, eventually something is gonna work out for you. If you stop, that's the only way that you fail, right? You can't fail if you continue. So.
Word.
No, it's English. It's in English. I'm about to get 2 more next week, actually, on Monday.
Mm-hmm. I want to get a tattoo as well, but Dad said that no, till you get old enough. So he wants me to get a tattoo when I turn 25. So I still have some time. Till then, I'm just gonna design it.
Yeah.
Get one.
So I wanted a tattoo since I'm 16 or something, and my mom said you'll get the tattoo when I will not see it. So I moved out when I was 17, and I didn't. Actually, it was very funny because I have one of on my leg first, on like a foot, and I didn't tell them I got it. And then I had a problem with the knee, so I'm getting into the hospital, right? And it was so painful that I completely didn't think about anything else. So they are like asking, "How are you?" And I'm sending them the picture. But guys, listen to the stupid thing. I didn't tell them I got the tattoo. And I'm sending them the picture with my leg up, on like how they hang it in the hospital.
Yeah.
With the tattoo on it. So they didn't even tell anything. The moment we met with them, they're like, "How's the tattoo going?" I'm like, "How do you know?" And they said, "But you literally sent out the picture." I'm like, come on, But at least they were worried about something else. They didn't really worry about my tattoo. At least the first one I made. Yeah.
Dreamer, welcome back. And I guess we are waiting for Jonathan without the edge for the duck race or the announcement.
Guys, I have to leave you for 2 minutes. I'll be back in just a second.
Sure.
Cool.
Sorry.
So, Jonathan,
Yes, mate.
do you use liquidation heat map? And if you're trading any pair like NQ, maybe gold, or maybe any.
I do not. I am interested in finding out about it, but I don't, to be fair. I use really simple concepts. I just use sort of market profile, change the trends, things like that. I don't really go down the rabbit hole of sort of that kind of stuff anymore. Obviously, I used to look at it quite a bit, but I just found that sometimes I could get myself lost in the numbers of stuff, and then end up, trading every single movement possible. So, yeah, I just kind of try and keep it as simple as possible now. So
Like I agree. When I was started with the order flow and stuff, I was lost in the heat map. Sorry, not heat map, but the volume profile and the numbers, and watching every single candle bid and ask, and asking myself that, oh, it's gonna go long or short. If I see some aggressive buying coming in, I got scared and I closed the sell order. So what I do is, like, if price is in my key zone, then only I look at it, or else I don't care what's happening till my take profit or there. So it's like more of like, if I don't know where to put my take profit, there is no reason to enter the trade. And whatever numbers are coming in between, it does not really matter, because the edge in the plan should work or not. That's at the end of the day, it's more of a probability and my data. So yeah, that's how I got rid of the extra stuff. It's really easy to get caught up with all of the tools and data we have these days. It's more of like coming back to the basic thing, or maybe waiting for a new lower low for sell, a new higher high for longs. That's gonna be.
So this is Bookmap that you use for that?
Yeah, I use it for gold always. And the trade, I took was around this, and it might look messy, but you can see this red area. It's a very aggressive passive sell limit orders.
Yeah.
And an aggressive buyer came in, and there is no follow through. That always happens. And I saw a good buy bubble in the Moti wave as well. And then when we saw price making lower low on the lower time frame, I went short. So it was a quick 1:1, and also we had a VWAP. We were below the 200 EMA as well. So it was a quick $200 on the 5 accounts. So like 1K a day, and logged out myself, because I know if I'll try again, I'll give it back to the market. Like usually we do, even if it does not really matter. It's like, no matter how many times you have spent in the market, it's really easy to give it back when you know that you are right for once, and the second trade is always going to mess up the entire hard work and time. So yeah,
I think it's the hard thing, isn't it? Because like, you're taking that trade there is perfect, but then it's knowing when to quit. It's knowing when to say, well, actually, if that's the setup, then I just need to wait for that setup all the time, versus getting active. And sometimes being active isn't always the best solution. But it's hard, isn't it? When you see all these price movements, it can be hard to not want to try and trade it in a certain way. Just watching the open here, just seeing what happens on the S&P. S&P started to rise a little bit, but we're now getting a little bit of choppy price action. So that's the open. We've got to sit out of it for a little bit, see what happens, see if there's any kind of decent moves. They're going to be obviously digesting all the news of the day that's happened. US retail sales, obviously the geopolitical tensions right now. So maybe we could see a little bit of downside in the S&P. Stock markets looking a little bit vulnerable at the moment. I actually hate shorting stock indexes. It's just never. I don't think I've ever really had a good result. Mind you, I've been buying the S&P a lot recently and have not won a single trade buying it either, because the markets are just so choppy. It's just I think Trump's tweets have knocked me out by 3 times in the past month. So I'm just kind of sitting on the fence when it comes to stock indices at the moment. I did like the idea of getting short on the S&P, but like I said, it's not really a game I'm good at. So I think when you're not good at something, walk away from it.
Exactly. I mean, I also love to trade IQ and SPX, but the thing is, it does not really align with my time zone. It gets really late in here, so I thought, just I had no option, just find something which really fits my routine and stuff. That's why I'm sticking to PAX or gold or GC, same thing in the all future on all the markets, because it gives me entry in the London session, and you understand that when it's late night and you're tired and you want to go to bed and just sleep, and where you have to use your brain to trade on a lower time frame, it gets really tough. So I'm more of like, I love to do it, but I'm not doing it only because of the time zone. And actually, I had a routine like an American people does. So I was walking in the night here and sleeping in the day, and that really ruined my health. So I did that for a year, and got admitted in the hospital for maybe a week.
Where are you based then?
Yeah.
Okay, right.
India.
Okay. So what time is it? What time is it now?
It is right now 7 p.m.
Yeah, I can see why. That'd be tough. Yeah. It's not sociable hours either. Do you know what I mean? Like, you got to have some kind of life still. Yeah, you can't just get rid of everything.
Yeah.
That's what to be fair, that's why the UK is pretty good, because we get kind of all the time zones. So, we get to at least obviously the London session and the US session crossover and whatnot. So quite fortunate really with the UK's timing on things.
Also, Jesu is saying, Ayush, will you make a good trading course, a paid one? We are done with the course. I think it's already on the channel, but if you want a paid one,
Sure, I can make one for you.
Specifically for you.
Yeah. And the entry fees, you always ask me to do belly dance. Well, for you have to dance in the dress and send me a video. That's the fees for you. So you'll get it.
Wow. That is an interesting concept.
Yeah.
You don't need to pay with money just by dancing.
Yeah, he has more interest in the belly dance. So yeah, that's the right way to do the transaction.
Well, you don't want to know. You genuinely don't want to know.
I think I want to.
But you can guess the viewer. You can guess the viewer, the question, and the viewer. You can guess that much, Anastasiia. Who asked what?
Jesu and a question.
Exactly.
Ayush is asking to be paid in some really interesting ways.
So he was asking me about the course, that am I doing any paid course? I told him that I can make one especially for him. But he, as you can see, that he has more interest in the belly dance. So you have to dance and send me a video, or maybe 50-minute long video, and I'll see if I want to make a course for him or not.
50 minutes?
That's kind of 15 minutes. Yeah, he was more like, he's
it's
expensive.
A payment with nature.
Yeah.
It's like not with money, but...
Yeah, it's a bit sketchy, that. A little bit sketchy.
So I might look for shots on the hype somewhere around this area. So if you see something happening in the zone, I look for shots, continuation lower. Ayush, regarding the health problems, so it was more of like not able to see properly, getting dark, and the not enough. My body was not holding enough water, and dehydrated, and fainting anywhere.
You just
and I especially got the trader backbone, which I was working, and it took months to recover from that. So yeah, it was. I mean, it was painful, but anyway, I knew that I'm gonna pay this price somewhere, because I really treated myself like shit, eating cup noodles late night, watching charts, not going to the gym, and yeah. But I don't repeat those stuff right now. It's just more of like working on myself and then trading. So yeah, if you think that if you wanted to become a trader and you can easily do it without taking care of yourself or maybe your health, then you're wrong. You'll end up with some disease 100%, and it will be late when you realize that what's the cause, and then you'll understand that charts and trading do really good damage to your mental health. So to be honest, getting injured by a sport is better than getting injured mentally because of some work or something like that. So yeah. Oh, we have Sensei.
And here he is.
That's a great way to end.
Jonah, where are you going?
I'm just exiting right now. Just taking the lift.
Look at that exit liquidity. Look at that. He's becoming a wick, a shadow.
I'm up.
Sell side. There we go. Now he's a bullish engulfing again. Man, I just had an interview with a great trader from the US. I'm hoping we can get him on stream. That would be amazing. All right, how you guys doing? We got a duck race going. Let's see. I think it's coming to an end. 9 minutes. 9 minutes. Let's share the duck race with you all. Here we go. The leader right now is Sliced Bread 000.
And I'm
If
afraid
you
to ask,
go by the
how
name
is
of Sliced Bread,
how is the duck of the sliced bread is looking exactly?
Oh, Santa's about to start the lead. No.
the duck and I didn't get that. The what?
How is the duck of the sliced bread is looking? Are you sure? Nah, I see it. Okay, I can see it.
Oh, you can't see it? This one.
Now I can. Yeah. We
It's what they had. It's an English duck with the King of England. Obviously, very sad today. Very sad. It's a sad day to be English today.
It is.
Did you stay up and watch? Of course you did.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, wasn't great. I was very excited at the sort of prospects of us taking the lead, but yeah, wasn't great for us. I was gone. The ducks are gone as well. Oh no.
He's back.
Now we're never going to know how the ducks end.
Not sure. We need Jonathan.
How does the AI randomize the ducks? Is there like somebody in the background like tapping away on a mouse or something for the past 24 hours?
So it's more of like, they spin the wheel kind of thing. The winner is already decided. And it's in a really fun way to just do,
The winner's already decided, and we're still going to watch it for 24 hours.
Yeah. It goes like up and down, and the winner is already decided from the start.
So do we already know who the winner is technically?
No, not we, but the
But the ducks know.
Yeah, the ducks. The ducks know, yeah.
And they're still going.
Yeah.
Even when they know they're losing.
Yeah, he's back.
A team of Indians in the background. They're like clicking buttons, and they're actually
That's what I was asking.
they're
Are they
the
like
game.
tapping away on something like for the past 24 hours?
It's a team of Indians in it, like this boat you sit in, and then you pedal with the feet. They have each and, right? That's what you told me, Ayush. That's what you told me.
Yeah.
Oh, is Ayush like supervising this? Is that what it is?
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
He calls them up and like, hey, Mr. Trump, you got to pedal harder. And here he is, number 8, Trump duck right there. Okay, 5 minutes. This is whoever came up with this idea. This is the most stupidest idea, because how do we even know that these people are going to be in the chat? Because if one wins, I don't know what email to send the account to. They need to be in the chat.
We told them they should come back. If they are not here, it's not your fault.
Okay, so and there's no way of finding out like who's the second one or whatever. No, there's only going to be one winner. Okay. Where do we have I gotta pull up the YouTube chat, see is Luna here?
Yeah.
Okay. Luna said something about an earthquake in New Zealand. That's terrible. But
I mean, she's not Portuguese.
is why am I hearing myself? Sorry guys. Is she from New Zealand?
Isn't it like late in New Zealand?
I think it is. Okay. What time is it in New Zealand?
Nearly 2 a.m.
today? Really? Oh, okay. Nah, she's not from New Zealand.
New Zealand time zone bad.
Thor Jack. Oh, Thor, are you the guy who likes everything I post on X? If that's the case, then yeah, I would consider giving you an account actually.
Totally not biased.
Yeah. That's one of the things you should be doing if you want an account is to go on Twitter and like everything I write
and bribe you basically.
Yeah.
Yep.
Jason,
Man, for what?
Jason also liked all your posts on X. He's saying, aren't you giving him anything?
I'm pretty sure he's lying. Pretty sure he's lying. Got 3.5 minutes left. Let's go. 3.5 minutes. But seriously though, there was like a huge earthquake in New Zealand, like six something on whatever that guy's scale is called. Maybe Robot, who's from the place. Do you wonder if there's any damages or whatever? Does that usually happen in New Zealand? Earthquakes? Do they have a lot of they don't have a lot of that, do they? Because if shit hits the fan, I'm considering going to New Zealand. It seems like a good place.
It's very. I'm pretty sure the weather's pretty crap. I don't think the weather's great.
How is the weather in New Zealand? New Zealand is currently experiencing winter. Okay.
Rains a lot, I think. I'm saying this just because I've interviewed quite a few traders from New Zealand, and I just that's what I hear.
Okay, what is the average weather in New Zealand? Is that even something you can ask? Okay, New Zealand has a temperate maritime climate categorized by mild temperatures, moderate rainfall, and abundant sunshine. But it has abundant sunshine. That's good.
Do you ever go on this website, which is, I know we've only got a minute left for the ducks, but it's basically Earthquake Watch.
Uh-huh. Oh, so so that's a plate, right?
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. It's just insane that there's like these platonic plates and one goes straight over New Zealand.
Yeah, because that's where you get a lot of stuff going on in Japan, and because they've got like a few kind of coming together at one place. So there's one in Japan today as well.
Okay, let's pull up the ducks. Oh, we have the ducks. Okay, We got 30 seconds left. Who's going to be the winner of this 24-hour duck race? And what's funny about this is that the person that's going to win this might not even be in the chat, which means no one's going to win anything today. And it's been 24 hours, which means a huge waste of time and resources on my end, because it's super hot here in the office today because my PC has been on all day. So I really hope that someone's winning this. All right, 10 seconds. Who's going to win this? Luna. No, it's going to be 4936. I think it's going to be Peter. I think it's going to be Peter. Look at Strawberry. Thorjack. It's going to be Peter. Peter's not here. You're not here, are you?
Wow.
That was an exciting end.
That was very exciting. Imagine if
we waited 24 hours for that.
We waited 24 hours for that.
Yeah.
Okay, Dr. Peter, are you here?
I've not seen him in a while. Today.
I think was Thorjack, was he second? Okay, I'm gonna watch the replay. I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna watch the replay. I'm gonna change screens here, and we're gonna watch the replay. Because the second one's gonna win something here. Okay. Why is this how it looks when it's full screen? Okay. Let's see. My God, it's lagging so much. Okay, so somewhere around here. Okay. So who's going to be the second one in? Peter's not here. Okay, the second one is going to win an account. If it's Luna... Okay, who's the one?
It's Luna.
Oh, shit. Who's going to be... Oh, that's Luna, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, Luna. If you tell me where you're from, you get an account.
Wow.
I'm kidding. Obviously, I'm kidding. Luna, congratulations. You get an account because the doctor is not reliable, very reliable doctor. Imagine if this was a patient lying on the operating table, doing 24 hours operating, and he decides to not show up. That's the type of people we're dealing with here. Not very impressed with you, Peter.
Jonathan, what account size we are giving?
I don't know. You decide.
Since it was 24 hours, we can do 10K.
Oh, Peter's actually here. Okay, we're gonna give them both an account. Okay, we're gonna Peter and Luna, because obviously, I've kind of fucked up on that one. So Peter's here. Oh, what can you do? Okay. You decide, Ayush. What are we going to give them? I think we're going to give Peter a 10K two-step, and we're going to give Luna a 5K.
Makes sense.
A 5K two-step. Okay.
Yeah.
So 10K to the first, and then 5K to the second one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we'll do another one tomorrow. Thorjack.
You have to like more posts.
Maybe like a couple of more posts, and you're definitely getting close. Getting closer. All right, that's it for today. I guess there's no point in doing much more, as the market is not doing much. Still in my short on Bitcoin. I've looking to take some profits at 63 on that one. Looking to move stops down a little bit. If this daily candle closes like this, around this area, I'll add a little bit and move my stops down to like 66.3. But you never know with this market. Now we have another straight or whatever. I need to become an expert at the Red Sea, I believe, because something's happening over there as well. I just took my doctor's whatever it's called, my PhD in Iran studies, and now I need to go over to the Red Sea and see what's happening over there. So this today and 1 week forward, you'll be seeing a lot of experts pop up on that on social media, I'm sure.
Sounds good.
All right, guys. Thank you all for joining today, and thank you Ayush and Jonathan, Jono,
Thank you.
and Ayush for this lovely live stream today. This is actually the last live stream of the week.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah,
great.
we're off
We switched up.
until Monday. Hopefully the market is gonna be a little bit more sensible than today.
Yeah, this week has been quite slow, I must admit. Not much happening. There has been some moving forex though, like GU had just some insane moves yesterday. Not sure if you saw that, but whatever. We're not here to talk about that. We're here to end the live stream. Okay, thank you. Thank you all for joining.
Hi
See you all
guys,
next
thank
time.
you so much.
See ya.
Take care.
Bye, bye, bye,
See
bye.
you.